Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Blue. Let's make some art. I placed my YouTube channel right up there so you can check it out if you'd like to see more videos. Today, I thought we would draw and shade a realistic eye with pencil, like this example right here. I placed a picture of a realistic eye right down there so you can see one up close and personal. We're going to go step by step and we're going to make a very cool realistic eye. So all you need for this activity is a piece of paper, a pencil, and a large eraser. A piece of paper, a pencil, and a large eraser. Okay, feel free to pause the video whenever you need to. We're gonna start out a little bit different than the picture behind me. I think that's a little confusing. It makes us think that we need to draw the most perfect circle for the iris, and we don't in fact need to draw a perfect circle. So we're gonna start here. We wanna really fill our paper with the eye shape first before we draw the iris. So I'm gonna start here with our tear duct. So we all have a tear duct that is kind of rounded in the corner of our eye right there. So we wanna start with the tear duct right here. So I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna go like this and draw nice and light so you can erase when you need to. I'm also gonna have to erase a lot, I'm sure. So I'm gonna go like this. It's kind of like a lemon, right? And then I'm gonna go around like this. I need to sit and face mine nice and forward. Around like that. So it's kind of a lemon shape, but it's not so rounded. It's more oval, like a football or a lemon, right? Okay, now when we look up close at our eye, you can see that realistic eye below me. Our eyelid right here always covers the top of our iris, the colored part of our eye. So it's not a complete circle. You can see that in the picture behind me too. That's why they cut off the top of that circle. So one of the biggest mistakes people make when they draw eyes is they draw a full complete circle, and we definitely don't want that. So I'm gonna go like this. My circle's gonna go around like this. It's not gonna touch the bottom, and it's gonna go up like this, like so. So there's my iris. If it's not a perfect circle, it's going to look great. No worries. And we're going to color it in, so don't you worry. Mine needs to be a little more rounded on the bottom. It looks like I flattened it out a little bit. There, that's better. So it's cut off at the top, right? We ended right here. We didn't complete the circle, and it doesn't touch the bottom. We can see a little bit of the white part of our eye right here. You can also see that on the picture below me. That's called the sclera, the white part of the eye. There's your science lesson for the day, the sclera. Okay, now let's draw the pupil. So we want to draw the pupil a little bit higher because remember, we can't see the top of the eye. So this is still centered, even though it's a little bit higher. And I draw the pupil by drawing multiple circles, keeping my wrist on the table until I think I get a nice circle shape. So that's kind of my method for drawing a circular shape. You just keep going until you get the circle shape that you like. And mine's not exactly centered. Again, no big deal. It's gonna be great. Now let's draw a spot of light. This is important. So I'm gonna go like this. Your spot of light can be any shape you want. It's a spot of light, right? It doesn't have to be any certain shape. Some people like to do a diamond, but we always have a little spot of light on our eye unless we are in pitch black. So there's my spot of light. And remember, this is a close-up eye, so it's gonna be rather large. And we want that spot of light to stay nice and white. So I'm actually gonna erase my lines on the inside for when I was practicing drawing, because we want it to stay nice and white. Nice and white. Okie dokie. Now, let's go ahead and draw the fold line of the eyelid. So we all have a fold of skin on the top of our eyelid. That is so our eyelid can close. If we did not have that fold of skin, our eyelid would not be able to close. That would be quite tragic. So again, you can see that on the picture below me. So let's take our pencil here and we'll start the fold of skin right here, or somewhere around in here. And it kind of goes like this. And we're gonna do a lot of shading, so don't you worry how that looks. That's how mine's gonna look so far. And then I'm gonna go ahead and draw a fold of skin underneath as well, or more like a wrinkle, I guess. We kind of have a wrinkle underneath of our eye. There's my wrinkle underneath. Very good. And then I'm gonna start right here. I just keep on moving along, so I apologize. Pause this video whenever you need to. Okay, so on this picture over here, they made their eyelashes a little bit more wispy. I like to kind of make mine all going in one direction, kind of like the realistic picture down there. So they kind of all wisp to the right, like this. They curve up to the right. So we're not gonna draw a ton of eyelashes because that would be crazy. So I'm just gonna go like this, and I'm gonna keep wisping to the right like this. And when we shade them in, we can always shade in more of them, remember? I could have maybe made these even longer. The eyelashes on the top of our eye are nice and long. The eyelashes on the bottom of the eye are much shorter. And I'm gonna go all the way to the corner here. All the way to the corner. So there's my light eyelashes. We're gonna shade them in. So don't worry, we will shade them in. And then down here, they wisp this way. They kind of, I'm gonna turn my paper this way. They kind of go this way and they're shorter. So not so dramatic. And a little shorter. There we go. Maybe I'll do one more right there at the edge. There. So they wisp this way, right? And this doesn't have any shading yet, and that's okay. All right, now this is kind of fun. Our iris is colored, and so to make it look colored, but we're just using pencil, we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna kind of go like this all around the eye. I'm just going zigzag, 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 kind of like so. Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And after we do all these outlines comes the fun part when we get to shade it all in, make sure our pencil is nice and has enough lead, nice and sharp and ready to go. So here's my zigzag. And we're gonna, don't worry, it looks silly now, but it's gonna look great in a moment. All right, I think we're ready for some shading. You know what, guys? Let's start with the iris. So we're not gonna start with any of the eyelashes or anything like that. Let's just start with the iris. So we're gonna try to keep this part clean, and we're gonna start out very dark around the edge. So let's just start with that. Let's keep it simple and just start with the edge. So I'm gonna make a nice thick dark line. This is pressing as hard as I can with my pencil. So this will be our darkest shading. The pupil's also going to be very dark in addition to this space. And I'm gonna keep going all around the edge of the iris. Nice and dark. I'm making a little ring of dark shading. I'm turning my paper as I go, so I hope that's not making you too dizzy. I'm kind of using the side of my pencil. And now I'm gonna have to be careful. My hand is really gonna start rubbing. This part of my hand is really gonna start rubbing against my paper. Sometimes I use my pinky and I kind of make a little tripod to hold my hand up so I'm not rubbing on it so much. Otherwise you'll find yourself at the end having to do so much erasing of extra pencil all around. Okay, here we go. Almost to the beginning. I have a little cold right now, so excuse my sniffing. It's been hanging around for several weeks. It just won't go away. Okay, here we go. There we go. So a nice thick layer around the edge. And then while we're at it, why don't we go ahead and shade in the pupil that same darkness. So as dark as you can make it. I like to shade in a circle. Remember, we can always see what direction our pencil shading is. So when you're done, I like to kind of think about that. If you're shading it in like this haphazard, messy way, it will show in the end. So I always like to kind of be a little conscious of that when I'm working. And I'm going to shade in this whole iris, trying to be nice and neat. Okay, there we go. Nice and shiny and dark. This is the darkest part of our eye, keeping this spot of light very white. Okay, that looks great. Now we're going to go from dark to medium to light when you get close to the iris. So I'm gonna go, this was dark, of course. Now I'm gonna lift up my pencil a little bit and go medium. Then when I get close to the iris, I'll go lighter. So just like that. So dark. Now I can go right up next to this little zigzag. Medium. And light. I'm going to turn the paper, and all of these spaces in here, let me zoom in so you guys can really see what I'm doing. I'm sorry I wasn't very close. All of these spaces in here I can shade. Might as well just stick to the dark shading for this zigzag. Just kind of filling it in a messy zigzag way because it's going to look like our iris, so we don't have to be too particular. Just a minute, I'm going to have to sharpen my pencil. I should have put a little portable sharpener next to me for this lesson. It's okay, I have a sharpener close by. I'm still going. This part can be nice and dark, that's okay. There's not very much space right here anyway. We might as well fill it in. No matter what, we don't want to see a line where it goes dark to medium and this like line in between. We want it to blend. We want it to blend. So you got to practice the art of slowly lifting your pencil up and getting lighter. Okay, now I'm going to get to a part where I'm getting lighter. So here we go, back over here. So dark, and now watch me just gradually lift up my pencil so it really starts to blend in. Medium. Dark. Medium. I had to look to make sure my paper was still on the screen. Really making sure that blends and looks nice and smooth. No creases, or no harsh lines, I should be more clear. That can stay nice and dark right there. And then this is going to go dark, medium, medium right here, right up next to the iris. Medium in here. And if I'm overlapping the pupil when I'm coloring, no big deal, because we've already colored that as dark as it can be. So that is no problem. Okie dokie. Whoops. My poor YouTube channel, I uploaded so many videos during COVID and I've been lackadaisical. Now that I'm, of course, working full-time again. It's not going to know what to do when I upload these videos today. Okay, now I'm going to take my finger. I don't want this to be perfectly white. So I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to get some of this dark pencil on my finger. So you can see I'm getting some of the pencil. And I'm just going to blend in this colorful, don't touch the spot of light. We want that to stay white. I'm just going to blend in with my finger so that this area looks a little more light gray and not so white. I can blend in these parts too, make them look really smooth. Okay, they have blending erasers and things like that, but artists will tell you that a finger works the best. Okay, so there's our iris. Look at that. Already done with that much work. Now I'm going to quick sharpen my pencil. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go.
Good afternoon, parents. At this time, the teachers are on
One
lunch.
second.
So if we have any parents that's in the hallway, could you please come down by the security desk? If you have any parents that's in the hallway at this time, could you please come down by the security desk? The teachers are on lunch until 3:45. Thank you.
Okay, it's report card pickup day today, so excuse the announcement. Okay, so now we are going to shade in the eyelashes. So I'm going to start by shading in this fold of skin just a little bit darker. You know what? I'm changing my mind. Let's shade in the sclera, the white part of the eye first. Let's shade in this part of the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and add a dark layer right here around the eye. And I'm going to keep going so that I get a nice dark layer on the edge of the eye here so it doesn't look like a single pencil line. And then we're going to blend it in, don't you worry. Making it a little bit darker around the edge. Okay, now we can do some of that dark, medium, light shading. So I'm going to go dark, medium, light. Dark, medium, light. Really blend that in. You know, right in our tear duct, it's very, very dark right there. That's where all of our tears come from. Nice and dark in this corner. Dark, medium, light. We go. Okay, I'm going to use my finger, blend some of that. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. And then right here, I'm going to add a couple curves right here just to kind of look like the tear duct muscles. Kind of like that. So it looks like where that tear duct is. Good, I like that we did that first. Now I can move on to this fold of skin right here. And I'm going to shade that in. Like so. Just using that same dark, medium, light technique. And we're nearly there. We've nearly created our realistic eye. You guys are doing a great job. I like to turn my paper upside down for this step. Do the same thing on the bottom. This one I make a little bit lighter because again, underneath of our eye, it's a little bit lighter. There we go. And now all we have left to do is to color in the eyelashes. So in the magic of YouTube TV, I'm going to bring this one over. So that's the same thing we just did, only this one has the eyelashes colored in. So you can pause that video so you can take a look at this completed example. You guys did a great job today creating your realistic eye. I'm so impressed. All right, good job today. I'll see you again for my next YouTube video on Mrs. Blue. Let's make some art. Bye-bye.